Shannon, or Squishy Stitches, back for the second stitch with me and a new angle. We are working on this one, which is Snow by Maxine God, or Gad, I'm not sure, from Heaven and Earth Designs. So that's what she looks like. We're working in this corner right here. So last week we had talked, or I had asked if people would want to see me work on just this as a Stitch With Me project, so we stitched this whole head together. I was doing it on a 32 count linen, but I really didn't like that, and so I bought this fabric, and I did stitch some on here, but just up until the point where I had stopped the last video. So I figured I would start here. Bought this fabric at Joann's. It's supposed to be an even weave, but the X's don't look very even to me. So I might be buying a different fabric again. I don't know. I'm gonna wait and see a little bit. We are working in the color 318, and this pattern only has 16 colors. So, and I hope this angle is better. It's not going to be the final angle, but until I get my stand up and running, this will have to do. And I'm stitching a bit awkwardly right now just because I got new nails today. So I got purple. I think they're pretty. They're a little longer than I wanted, but that's, you know, I didn't tell the lady doing my nails to shorten them, because at the time I was like, oh, they look pretty. And now that I'm actually trying to, you know, live with them, I'm like, oh boy, these are long. These are long. So typing at work will be interesting. It'll take me a few days to get used to that one. But I do like the color, and she did a really good job. I was actually really impressed with the place I went to. She took her time on my nails, which is unusual. Usually they're like, do, there you go. Like, she filed them, she shaped them, she put them on, she filed them some more to make sure the shape was right and all of that. So I'm very happy with that. And so that's what I did today. I got nails, which that is a story in itself, and it's not something I really talk about, but I have pretty bad anxiety. This isn't even in frame, I'm sorry. Oops. Okay. So where was I? Right there. Count out 3. 1, 2, 3. And today was the first day I tried taking something for my anxiety. I always get really bad anxiety before, like, a nail appointment or a doctor's appointment or any sort of appointment, really. And, like, full-on panic attack. I have a tendency to cancel because I just can't handle the anxiety. And so I took something for it. I miscounted something. Or did I? Got 3, 1, 2, just a little bit. This stitch needs to be over here. But it was so different getting my nails done. Normally I have to call in, or I will just skip it. And this time I went in, I told them what shape I wanted, what length I wanted, what color I wanted, and I was calm. Like, I have never experienced that in my life. There's something now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. back on the mistake. Okay. But it was just very bizarre for me to like not be anxious in the middle of the appointment and just to go about having like a normal nail experience, not worrying if I'm talking too much, if I'm not talking enough. I don't want to offend them by asking for shorter or longer nails. None of that. I went in, I got what I wanted. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but for me, that's never happened. I always chicken out. I know the ladies working in the salon, they want to give me what I want because they want me to pay for what I want. And they don't know what I want unless I tell them what I want. But anxiety is a monster sometimes. When you have anxiety, even if you rationally know, they just want my money. They want me to be happy, so I come back and they want my money. But anxiety doesn't really obey those rules. So yeah, if anybody is experiencing anxiety, I suggest you do something about it, because that was very eye-opening to me, I guess. Sorry, I'm counting. But anyway, and then this week was the 4th of July for us Americans. Anybody who's not an American, that's okay. I didn't do much. My kid decided he wanted to go to bed at 8 o'clock. And I said, there's fireworks tonight. He's like, yeah, I want to sleep. So we put him to bed and I stayed home. My husband works third shift, so he wouldn't have been able to go no matter what. And yeah. So didn't go see the fireworks, which to me, I'm totally cool with that. The loud bangs from fireworks has been hard for me to deal with my whole life. When I was a little kid, it would make me cry and scream. And as I got older, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then it got better, because I can go see them now without freaking out. And I do think they're pretty, but I don't like them. Okay. Pulling at a knot with nails. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Let's do it with this hand. There we go. I don't know if you saw how I do that. I usually just fiddle with the little loop knot till it disappears. And then, so on the 4th it was pretty chill. I had the day off of work, which is always nice. And I just kinda did my own thing. I didn't do a whole lot of housework, which I do need to get some housework done this weekend. Because, oh boy, it gets bad fast. I'm not gonna show you because it's bad. Got laundry I got to wash and put away. There's that knot again. It's my only problem. I get knots. I hate knots. But I always get knots. I suppose I could try beeswax or something like that. And I've heard it helps. But I don't know. So, do you all find that it helps or not? I honestly couldn't tell you because I've never used it. I used to use Thread Heaven when I was big into beadwork. That was back in the 90s, and I haven't touched the stuff since. And now I can't. That's okay. I've done a lot of crafts, and I get really heavy into my crafts. I can knit, I can sew, I can crochet, I can do beadwork. Whether I do them all or not is different. I usually only do one at a time. And right now it's cross stitch, cross stitch, cross stitch, and I think it will be for a long time, because unlike my other crafts, I've given myself permission with cross stitch to have more than one project going. And I never did that before, and so I'd get burnt out because I want to start something else, and I'd be like, no, I must finish the other thing first. And really, it's more of a punishment to myself to do it that way. And honestly, life is too short to punish myself about my hobbies. If I want to start a project, I'm going to. If I want to never work on that project again, the only thing lost is money and time. And it's not really I didn't lose time, because I enjoyed myself while I was making it. So the only thing lost is money. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. 6. And today is my niece's birthday. She is 24, I think. Let's see, she was born when I was 16. So I don't know. My brain's not going to do the math right now. I don't think math's all that important while I'm trying to count. I'll figure it out. Hey, Dusty! My dog is snoring really loud. Oh, and here he comes. Hi, Dusty. Hi, big boy. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, there's Dusty. My big baby. Yeah. He's at the spot. You're just gonna have to watch me pet my dog for a second. Because he's just a big baby, isn't he? You're my big baby, aren't you? Yeah. I'm trying to do something though, buddy. Yeah. Look at that neck. I need to walk you more. You're getting chubby. Chubby, chubby, chubby. Chubby, chubby, chubby. Sorry. That's how I am with my dog. He's a big baby and a big cuddler. Anyhow, back to this. Oh, dog, you're gonna put my knee out. Supposed to be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I gotta make sure I'm in frame, sorry. 5. And 6. But yeah, so 4th of July didn't do much. Today got my nails done. And that's really been it for my week. Other than my niece's birthday's today, I worked 4 days, which is nice. It's always nice to have extra time off of work, if you know what I mean. Which I'm sure most of you do. And if you don't, you can understand. And you met my dog Dusty. He's my big baby. We got him because we were looking for a dog. And I found one named Clifford who was a big sweetheart. But Clifford had heartworms. and unfortunately he didn't survive the heartworm treatment. And so we had been dogless for a couple years because we had lost our dogs, Brutus and Belle, pretty close together. It was like one and then the other. And then I just couldn't handle the idea of another dog for a while, so we weren't looking for a dog. And then I saw a picture of Clifford at the Humane Society, and he was gorgeous. He was a boxer and Australian Shepherd mix, I believe. And he was white and spotted, but the spots were brindle. And he was a sweetheart when we met him, but he didn't survive the treatments, which was sad. I mean, there's not much they could do about that. And so I decided, I'm ready. If I was ready for Clifford, I'm ready for another dog. And so we asked them, what other dogs do you have that are like Clifford, that would be good with a young child, because my son was with us. He was 2 at the time. And they said, well, we have this 13-year-old dog, which I still feel bad about, but we passed on that simply because I had just a couple years ago put down 2 elder dogs, and I couldn't do it again so soon. And then they suggested Dusty, who was all of 50 pounds at that time. Big ol' sweetheart. And the pictures did him no justice. The pictures made him look uglier than sin. And so we went in and we met him, and he was just such a big, happy, wiggly baby that we couldn't say no. And so we brought him home. And this big old wiggly baby, who was supposed to be 1.5 years old and almost done growing, went from 50 pounds to 100 pounds. So he became a really big old baby. He's not so wiggly anymore. We tend to call him Eeyore, because he kind of has that personality where he's like, oh, okay. And he's a pouty puss. Like, one time we brought home ice cream for Riker and the babysitter for one of Riker's parent-teacher conferences. And we didn't bring any for Dusty. Well, wouldn't you know it, Dusty went in a corner and ignored us for 3 days. Because we didn't bring him home ice cream, too. Okay, can she do it? Can I weave under with these big nails? Ah! I know I can, I just gotta loosen this. I'm not in love with this fabric from Joann's. I'd say don't get it. I didn't like the linen. I don't like this one. Gave it a shot. This one's not such a big deal. Although the not being even weave kind of bugs me. I'm not 100% sure it's not even weave. I just think the X's look longer one way than they do the other. And to me that's not even weave. But I'm looking based off of visual. I have done absolutely no measurements. Oh no. I put the tripod on the scissors. You're gonna wiggle. There we go. Okay. Little thread. Now, where did I put my... Alright, I'm gonna have to move out of frame and find the thread. Not there, not there. There it is. I was not all that prepared. This is with my Space Traveler project, because that's the one I'm working on for the Full Coverage Fanatics Tour de France. And that's really long. I don't need that long. Do 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 do. Do do do. All I'm doing is Hades right now. Yeah, I have like 3 Hades that I'm rotating between right now. It's not a formal rotation, they're just ones I want to work on. And I'm not working on any of my other projects. So, you know, all I'm working on is Hades right now. Tap, tap, tap. Which doesn't work when your nail gets in the way. Go figure. This is the part about nails that bugs me. Aye. There we go. Put that there, put that there. Actually, no. I have to. Sorry, I know this is just basically wasted camera space, but I have to put my thread on the bobbin. And when I do that, what I do is I take the hole and I stick the thread through the hole. And I loop it. Just like so. I do that way I don't lose the thread. And it keeps everything neat while I put it in my bobbin box. And I have one of those ginormous bobbin boxes that's double-sided. And I just work out of that. Why can I not thread a needle today? There we go. There we go, I got it. I knew we could do it. Okay, tighten this. Stay. Tighten this back up. Maybe. Come on. There we go. Thank you. And where was I? I should highlight while I'm at it. Otherwise I will get lost in my picture, because you know how that goes. So, give me one moment and I'll highlight. And don't worry, this is just a working copy of a hard copy. So eventually, when I finish this in 30 years, my intention is to pass it on to somebody. But do not ask yet, because it is way too early for me to decide that kind of thing. Alright. That one's done too. There we go. All the highlighting's done. Oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump the camera. I really jostled that. Sorry. I will try and edit this little bit out where I'm moving you all around like ninnies. Okay. Of course, there's a little knot there. Oh well. Knots were meant to cut off. This is something called a lasso start that I just discovered. So I'm not very good at it, but it seems like it's something I can do and enjoy. So once I get better at it, I will teach you all. And then back to stitching. So, what to talk about? Went a little, not a little, I went very crazy spending this week. Holy shnikes, did I go crazy. So last week, I got my first Clay by Kim. Isn't it pretty? I love it. But they're hard for me to get because where I'm at, the release is at 6 o'clock. And every Thursday at 6 o'clock, I am on the road going home from work. And even if I wasn't going home from work, I would be at work with no Wi-Fi. So I have been trying to get a Clay by Kim for, a better part of a year. Every week. With no luck. And then, lo and behold, I got that one. And this week I had Thursday off. And I was like, you know what? I'll get myself another one. I want a dragon. I want an actual dragon. And so, I got one. I got two. I got two and a flower. Oh my gosh. Like, what was I thinking? Well, I know what I was thinking. One of the dragons is actually for my niece. Because it's her birthday today. And I know I've mentioned that, but I'm very happy for her. And she'll never see this video, so it doesn't matter how many times I tell you. It's her birthday today. But I can be proud and I can brag on her. She is a great person. She's in her last year of school. She's done 2 semesters abroad. She works full time. And she's been through hell. She made a mistake and had a kid as a teenager. And that's hard enough. And baby daddy abandoned her and baby. She found another guy. And he was in her life for a very long time, for about 5 years. And then he cheated on her with her best friend. Yeah. Not even a year of marriage and he's running around. I'm adjusting this. I don't like the angle. Is this better? No, I'm just making things worse. I'm sorry, guys. I'll leave it there. So now she's 24-ish, about to graduate college, with a child, and divorced. And she still manages to be a great mom. Her son is the reason she chose the degree she did. Her son is the reason she took longer to go through school. He's probably the reason she actually went to school. He manages to make sure he's had dance lessons, karate lessons, voice lessons, whatever he's interested in, really. All of that. And she works like 3 jobs, goes to college, spends time with her kid. And so I never see her, but I don't complain because I could not keep up with that. There's no way I could keep up with that. And I know she gets support, like the guy she divorced, he's basically my great-nephew's dad. Been in the picture since Dom was about 9 months old. So really the only person my nephew's known as a dad. And he's still in the picture in that aspect. But that was a hard blow for her. And yeah. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because it's really her private business anyways. I shouldn't be telling you. But like I said, she's never gonna watch this, so... because I'll never tell her I do it. And she's not likely to find out on her own because she's not a cross-stitcher, she's not a crafter. She wants to be, she just doesn't have the time or the patience to devote to learning. And yeah. I have one niece and 5 nephews. So, not all from the same sibling. Definitely not all from the same sibling. Actually, 6 nephews if you count my great-nephew. So my brother had a daughter and a son. And then my husband's 2 brothers each had 2 boys. No girls. And we have a boy and no girl. And my niece has a boy. So there's 1 niece and 6 boys. Plus my son. So 7 boys. That's a lot of boys. But you know, family gatherings are always loud. And it's always full of boys running and yelling and shooting Nerf guns at each other. And it's fun. And it's great fun for my son because he's an only child. And so he gets to go nuts with other... Alright everybody, we're back. My camera ran out of space so it stopped and I figured I'd try another angle. And this one actually looks like it might be a bit better. Because you can actually kind of see what I'm doing, but only be able to stitch one-handed this way, I think. But that's okay, right? So I'm not sure what we were talking about when it got disconnected. So I'm just going to keep going. And been watching this TV show on Hulu called Claws. You all should seriously consider watching it. It is hilarious and it is action-filled. And it's got Niecy Nash in it. And she is funny. Basically the premise of the show is a group of nail technicians who get mixed up with what they call the Dixie Mafia. I don't know if that's a real thing, but it makes for a good TV show. And so they're just working on trying to get out, and all sorts of shenanigans happen, and it's one of those shows that does cliffhangers really well. And I've been thoroughly enjoying it. Plus, one of my friends from high school, well, more of an acquaintance from high school, is or was. He still works for the company. I don't know if he works directly with that show, but is one of the casting directors for TNT and does the casting. So, you know, that's always cool. He's probably, you know, the only famous person I know. He's not famous, but he works with TV stars. And if I ever went out to LA, he wouldn't introduce me to any. So it doesn't matter. Not that I'm not all that impressed by celebrity, I guess. I mean, yeah, there's some artists I would like to meet. But it's based off of their body of work and not their fame factor. Which, you know, I think that's the case for everybody. But just the way I am, it's, oh, cool. I like your movies. And I probably would not be as chill in person if I met them in real life, but you know, I can pretend to be chill. For a situation that won't ever happen. Sorry, I'm counting. I think I'm just gonna finish this row going back, and then we will stop it for this week, because I'm not sure what to talk about. I'm gonna have to make myself lists. I'm not one of those people who can just talk for hours without a plan or an agenda. Because normally I'm the quiet one. My husband does the talking. And that's perfectly alright. It works for us. And back we go. And another thing I thought about is maybe doing this for like 15 minutes a day. That way I don't have to come up with lists of things to talk about. And then just editing it all together as one and putting it out once a week. I don't even know if that's a good idea or not, or if it's even feasible long term. But I might try that. Probably not this week, because I'm very busy this week. But maybe next week. Y'all have to let me know which angle you like better. Angle 1, from before the battery died. Or not the battery, the storage got filled up. Or angle 2, which we're doing right now. Both of them will get improved upon once I resolve my stand issue. But you know, that takes time. Spent too much money on needle minders, spent too much money on nails and other things, so I went hog wild spending money this week. I just can't. Like, what was I thinking? But it is what it is, the money spent. And most of it's unrefundable, or I don't want to refund it. Like the nails, you can't take these back. They'll laugh at you. These were one that my husband wanted me to do. The needle minders was all me. I don't know if that part got cut from the last video, but I went a little nuts. I've bought 5 Clay by Kims in the last 2 weeks. No, 4. 4 is better than 5, but still. Oy. Even if one is a gift. It would be very nice to have one for each of my cross stitches. But, you know, that would be like $300 or more. So that's not happening. But it would still be really nice. But I need to back off buying those unless she releases peacock ones. If she releases peacock ones, I have to get one. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. I am the peacock person. One of them, anyway. I'm the person who went to the zoo and took 6 rolls of film of only peacocks. I didn't care about the other animals. I wanted to see the peacocks. I'm the person that made friends with somebody in town as a kid simply because they had peacocks. So, I've been a little obsessed with them my whole life. And I'm happy with that. Anyhow, that's where we're going to stop it because my thread's out. So, have a nice night. And I'll put this up and see you all next week. Bye.